Hello and welcome to this channel, everybody. This is the Eradicator, and today I am live with the community, and we are going to talk about the latest roadmap update a little bit more in detail, and especially we are going to talk about the practice that is now commonly known in Spectrum and among the Star Citizen community as roadmap padding. What is roadmap padding, guys? Roadmap padding is simply adding stuff to the roadmap like extra shops or extra gameplay like elevators, woo, right? That are not really relevant. So this is something that has made quite a lot of us not very happy lately. And I wanted to talk about it with you guys. I have made a little poll here. As you can see, should Star Citizen 4.0 and 4.1 be renamed 310 and 311? We are going to talk about it later as well. There are quite a few people who are calling this out. I have seen that also Salty Mike is also calling for this out loud in his live stream regularly. So glad to see here that it's quite a lot of people here who are talking about it. And I think that this needs to be addressed. And we are going to do this, all of it, together. So, what is going on here with 3.9? As we can see, Star Citizen Alpha 3.9 is still in the Evo Caddy. Apparently, according to Zelo, from what I have seen in various sources on the internet, they originally wanted to bring it by Friday night. They had a build. Unfortunately, the build failed, which is okay. These things can happen. I'd rather have them tell us that the build failed than having to give us a build that is actually terrible and that made everybody upset. So that's totally fine. So they are working on your new build. It was obviously not available over the weekend because, guys, let's give the devs a break too. The devs also need to get their own weekend, spend time with their family. That's totally fine as well. So as a result, probably we should expect some extra updates either tonight or maybe tomorrow. This is Haga says that they are not patiently waiting. Gaming Plus Plus says rip Idris. Oh my god. So yeah, we can talk. At the same time, guys, let's give CIG some credit here. The Idris has never been in the roadmap. Jared did hype it in inside Star Citizen that it would come in 3.9, but if it's not ready, and this is where the leaks really played a crucial role, in my opinion. The leaks did prepare us. The leaks were mentioning that, hey, the Idris right now is unkillable. It's impossible to destroy the Idris. The Evo Caddies have been working as hard as they could, but no matter what, even if you bring an entire squadron of retaliators, you could only get the shields down to 97%. So obviously something was wrong here with Idris. The Idris is not an Uber ship that should be undestructible. It should be destructible too. And so they need to get their stuff together. They need to get their act together to make sure that the Idris is ready for everybody to interact with when it reaches to the verse. So I'm not disappointed that the Idris is not coming. This is really something that needs to be done right when it is released. So I'm fine with the Idris not being here in 3.9. So 3.9 here is pretty much completed. By the way, as you can see, everything is completed with only one task here left in development, 81 out of 83. Let's talk about 4.0 because some of the things that have been added for 4.0 here just don't make any sense. And if you're looking at what 4.0 used to be before, we used to have Crusader, we used to have gas planets, we used to have so many different gameplays here that used to be docking in the past used to be in 4.0. For example, we used to have the C2 Hercules used to be in 4.0 as well. It's not there anymore. Instead, we have the Mercury Star Runner in 4.1, first ship of the Crusader industry line. Geeky P says the Idris is in God mode. That's pretty much it, right? Absolutely, you're right. So there's a lot of items in 4.1 that used to be in 4.0 already. And if you look at what is left in 4.0, guys, and this is what we're going to talk about here, right here, what do we have? We have Eddie Parr, which is a character from Microtech. This is the character that is going to be available in Wallis Bar, if I am correct. He should have been already in 3.9. Guys, if you remember, those locations for 3.9, New Babbage landings on those ones were originally scheduled for 3.8. So actually, actually there's a lot of features from 4.0 that were originally in 3.8 and that have been delayed by 6 months. And this is not because of the ongoing, sanitary situation that is playing in the world right now. These were delays that were announced well before the pandemic. These were delays that were announced well before CIG staff started to work from home, unfortunately. So we only have one character, which should have been in 3.8, just like the rest of New Babbage. The locations here, same here, those shop additions. What are we talking about when we talk about additions here, guys? Introducing a novelty kiosk shop in the New Babbage Spaceport interior, which will sell souvenirs and knickknacks. What the heck is a knickknack? I have no idea. You're gonna have to tell me. I think that a knickknack is like a little souvenir that people keep, for fun. If I remember it's right. Who is interested in that? Please. I think that this should have been also a very interesting topic here for the community poll. Who is interested in buying knickknacks? I am absolutely not interested. I don't want knickknacks. I want to kill people in the verse. That's what I'm interested in. I want to make money. I want to eradicate people. I don't want to have a bubble head. I want to have a bubble head ruining my Star Citizen experience in my cockpit. No, thank you. If this is what it's all about, they can keep their knickknacks and their bubble heads. No, thank you. Also coming to the spaceport is the Factory line, a flagship store to Macrotech that sells their top-line products such as Mobiglass. If there's a Mobiglass rework, the Mobiglass is not working so well and never has, actually. So if they are reworking on the Mobiglass, I'm fine with that. And SimPods and various computer-related items. SimPods would be great if we could have a way to play Arena Commander or Star Marine or Theaters of War when we are in Quantum Drive. I think that would be very nice, I think. Guys, it's simple, says Raggio. Stop giving your money to give from now on. Raggio, it's one way of doing it. Havoc Harrison says knickknacks are tourist junk. Yes, I see what you mean, right? Exactly. So why would anyone be interested? So this is absolutely irrelevant, and it doesn't change the game at all. So far, characters, that's not really game changing. The locations here, we have some Grimex improvements. What are we talking about when we talk about Grimex improvements here? They want to make it a complete landing zone. The main changes will include new location branded utilitarian hangars. So we're talking about hangars that we don't have right now in Grimex, which makes sense. Perhaps they are going to allow bigger ships to get into Grimex, because right now, for example, if you have a Caterpillar, you cannot go to Grimex. So that's what I think they are going to do. They are going to expand Grimex to allow for bigger ships to get into the stations, which I think makes sense. I think it should be happening. I think that Grimex is an interesting criminal hub that we have right now in the Stanton system and does need a little bit of love. So why not, right? Why not? And the Scramble Race feature, who is interested in Scramble Races? I have never seen anyone races in Scramble Races. Every time I'm trying, I'm always the only one doing that too. So I think that this is also a waste of time, in my opinion, right? Arthur says, do you think there's a big problem with 3.9 that they are struggling with? I think that's why they are pushing server meshing. Arthur, I think so. People are reporting that they're having some really serious desync issues, and yes, this is probably why they are pushing on server meshing. Reports also indicate that CIG is not pleased with with the benefits that server-side object container streaming is bringing, which could also be explaining why Crusader is being pushed back by 6 months, because they probably need server meshing to get the verse work together. As of right now, it doesn't work because players, especially due to trading players, are scattered all over the Stanton system, and that could explain why server-side object container streaming does not have the intended results. Here, Rapspace, how are you doing, buddy? Says it's possible that they are reworking the mission giver code that would delay mission givers as well. Yeah, that's also possible. Mission givers have not been fantastic. They have been quite unresponsive as well. And let's face it, they only have one type of mission. Each of these mission givers that we have in the verse only give you the same mission again and again and again and again. I think that only Miles Eckhart gives you some different types of bounty hunting mission right now. So Miles Eckhart had a little update recently, but that's pretty much it. So it could also be a reason why, what is this name again? I forgot. Edipar is delayed to 4.0, but again, wrap space. It could be a reason, but I don't want to be speculating about this stuff. This is not what I am expecting from developers who claim that they are transparent and share what is going on with their backers, because that's what we are. We are backers. We are not just customers. We are backers. It is thanks to us that this project is being made. I think that we deserve to know what is going on. We should not be left in the dark speculating about, hey, maybe SSOCS is not working so well. Hey, maybe that's because we're working on characters. No, we want to know what's going on. They should tell us. At least that's what I think. 3.8 got messed up due to staggered development, if memory serves me right. Yeah, but Jamokin97, that's very interesting. Let's talk about staggered development a little bit. Staggered development. What are the benefits of staggered development right now? If Crusader is being delayed by 6 months, is this what staggered development is bringing? And where are the ships? Why do we have only one new ship, which is actually a variant in 4.0, which is going to be the Cutlass Blue, and those bloody useless M50 improvements? What is going on? Why do we have only one ship in 4.1 as well? How is staggered development helping with the ship pipeline? We're not seeing any progress here. In fact, we are seeing less ships now than we used to see in the past, and that is quite concerning too. That is quite concerning too. Kippy says, I miss Rico talking to me. Yeah, Rico does not talk. That's right. Yeah, Arthur, there is no info coming from CIG. That's right. There is no info. Debug says, preach on. I'm sorry, Debug. I'm sorry if you think that I'm preaching. This is not the point. Or I am just trying to give my opinion and share it with you guys. If you think that it is preaching, it is not the intended result, right? I see us having the same conversation in 2 years from now, says Jameson. And does server meshing allow more than one server to run the solar system? If they implement it, will it allow for more than 50 players per person? Yes, yes, and yes. Adort Rail, it is going to, there are going to be multiple servers per solar system, and in theory, we should be able to have instances with several hundred players. Yes. The Cutlass Black needs more love. That is also true. Anyway, so we are going to see, let's go back to 4.0 because that's what we were talking about here. 4.0 here being, unfortunately, added some cards that are not really game changing in my opinion. I think that this is quite interesting here. Weapon types, that they are going to allow NPCs to have different types of weapon, because right now these NPCs have only one type. Let's say you go to security post Corée, for example, they are going to have those P4 guns. If you go to the 890 jump, they are going to have P8s. If you go to the bunkers, they are going to have gallant energy rifles. With this update, they are going to be able to take pistols, maybe throw grenades at you. I think that is pretty cool if you would ask me. All right, gameplay. Now let's go back to gameplay. And this is where I think this is where 4.0 should not be called 4.0 in my opinion. How is this a game changer? How is this making this update changing from the 3.x branch into the 4.0 elevator panels? I mean, yeah, those elevators that we have around the verse are really annoying. And they definitely need a brand new UI. That's right, but it shouldn't even be on the roadmap, right? It should be a little update. Say, hey guys, by the way, we updated the elevators. You're going to enjoy the new UI. That's it. There's no need to have an entire card here in the roadmap. Targeting methodology. How is this? This was supposed to be in 3.9, by the way. So apparently this is going to fundamentally change how targets are. I think that we need to have better UI. That is true. Because right now, I think that it's very unpractical when you are in combat. You have the only thing that tells you where your enemies are is where you have that little red arrow that says, hey, if you go this way, that's where you're going to find your enemy that is targeted. But it is highly unpractical because first, it's not very visible, and second, In other games, I've played a lot of different space sims in the past, and in other space sim, you have like the main big red arrow that shows you where your targeted enemy is located, but you should have other arrows also at the same time with different colors that tell you, okay, here you have a hostile, here you have a hostile, here you have a hostile, here you have a friendly, and here you have a friendly. These should be on each sides of your screens and tell you, give you a better visibility as of who is where and who you maybe change target to, or who should you go to based on the different locations of the different vessels around you. If this is what's coming up in 4.0, I am all for this, but at the same time, it is not really game-changing too. Body dragging, what is this? The enabling a character to pull another prone character here. Here, I think that this is going to be, it looks like it's a bounty hunter here in the picture. Because we're going to have some interesting guns here, guys. We're going to have those Electro Guns, which are going to be here. They're basically, futuristic tasers, right? With these guns, you'll be able to stun people while keeping them alive at the same time. So if we could do that to grab people and put them into prison cells and send them to prison, I think that if you are a bounty hunter, that is going to be some really exciting gameplay, which would make sense why the Cutlass Blue is coming in to 4.0. But at the same time, is it worth calling that 4.0? I don't know. High-speed combat, changing the way ship components behave in speed. I believe that you should not fight in high speed, because if you fight in high speed, you are going to joust, and you have very high chances of either crashing into your opponent or crashing into the environment. So don't fight at high speed. It is stupid. Ship HUD rework. Okay, so how is this different from new targeting methodology? I think that these two here are pretty much the same, because here they're also telling us that it is using the new HUD to have new targeting methodology. Again, this is roadmap padding. Here we have two different cars that actually belong into one. So they're just telling us, hey, we are having so much things here for 4.0, but actually that is not the case. And the law system V2 surrender, which was supposed to be in 3.9. We definitely need people to surrender in the verse, because what it allows, maybe it can save a lot of time, and maybe you can save your equipment. Maybe your fine is not going to be as high as it would be if you don't surrender. At least that's how it is in a game like Kingdom Come Deliverance. Same here. Origin M50 Improvement. Does this need to be in the roadmap? We only have 8 tasks for these improvements. None of them have been completed. How is this going to change the M50, which is unfortunately was supposed to be an interceptor? It is now just a racer. How many of you guys are flying M50s at a regular basis? I never see any M50s in the verse. The only time I see M50s is when I am doing those bounty hunting missions, or when I'm fighting other NPCs, like in the patrol missions, for example. These are the only times where I see M50s. So what kind of improvements are we going to talk about here? They are not really talking about it here. They don't even call it the Origin M50 Interceptor anymore. They call it the Origin M50 Racer to make it flight ready in the game. Work on this task will include improvements to landing gear compressions and updating the cockpit EI metrics to improve pilot experience. They want to make it a little bit closer to the other Origin ships that we have right now in the verse. Why not? Right now, it's true that this is looking more like a legacy Origin ship than a current Origin asset, but at the same time, it's not changing. It's not going to change the verse for much. And then we have some guns. Core Tech here, they're bringing up extra height maps, Npc Scheduler, and shield tech replacement. This is, in my opinion, maybe the most important. This is maybe going to be the most important feature in 4.0 if this does not get delayed, because once again, we don't know. What if this is an elite, what they call elite or epic, sorry, what if this is an epic card, just like bounty hunting improvements was supposed to be in 3.9, and we figure out that at the last second, oh, this is an epic card, you guys were not supposed to see it. What if this is also the same, right? So here they say the NPC Scheduler is meant to add and remove NPCs to the game, dynamically spawning them in and out of based on NPC archetypes, determining the maximum number of NPCs in a given area based on the ratio of players and server performance and the probabilities of those NPCs archetypes. NPCs will need to spawn in a spawn locker for every landing zone. Spawning in a given location that is impassable by a player, such as an invisible barrier, more likely an air shield or a turnstile that cannot be used by players. Whatever. Does that mean that we are finally going to have Tony Zurvek's Quanta in Star Citizen 4.0? If this is the case, if this is linked to Quanta, the thing that we saw during CitizenCon, where Tony Zurvek was showing us what is going to be the beginning of the living, breathing universe in Star Citizen, if this is the case, then yes, this, in my opinion, if this is the case, then it should be called 4.0, because it is going to be a game changer. It is going to be a complete experience living in the Star Citizen universe, because we are going to have the beginning, the roots of this dynamic economy that is going to take place in Star Citizen. Rapspace says the NPC scheduler is a good thing, less for servers to do. Perhaps. But at the same time, guys, has CIG communicated on this? No, they have not. Have we have any mention of this in Inside Star Citizen? Not yet. I really hope, if Jared is watching this, or Xylo, if people at CIG are watching, please consider talking about it in Inside Star Citizen. We need to have more information about the NPC scheduler. We need to have more details. What this is going to imply. Is this directly linked to Tony Zurvek's Quanta? This is something that, in my opinion, because a lot of people have lost faith with the latest roadmap, a lot of people have been disappointed. If this is something that is slated to come in 4.0, if they have worked already a lot of it, they have something to show us, please, CIG, show it to us ASAP, so that people can have a little bit more faith in what is coming up in 4.0. Read my poll comment, the Eradicator Rap Space. We are going to go through the poll very soon. Don't worry. JC Camacho says that he is fine with fewer ships as it helps to get the game in a more stable place. All right. That is a fair opinion as well. Dave Marden says, at the end of the day, all this is rendered moot until the server issues are worked out. That is also true. Gaming Plus Plus says we need an M51 interceptor variant. I agree with you. Gaming Plus Plus. I think that the M50 does need to have variants, especially a combat variant. I think at the beginning I bought 3 M50s back in, I think it was in 2014 when it was out, and that's because I was sold. When the M50 was out at the beginning, and let's bring back the M50 here. When the M50 was out at the beginning, I was told that this would be an interceptor, a small pocket interceptor that will be very fast, fragile, but will be able to combat and be an interceptor. So I thought, oh yeah, this is gonna be the equivalent of Star Wars' A1 Starfighter in Star Citizen. And in previous space sims, in previous Star Wars space sims, I was always flying an A-Wing, because the A-Wings were just my type of fighting. Fast, nimble, swift, and just enough firepower to do enough damage. But at the same time, if you're taking too much damage, then you're going to be destroyed as well. So there's that thrill also, having to improve your flying skills. But the problem with the M50 is you can't do anything because it doesn't have any firepower at all. It only have size 1 weapons, right? So that's not really helping at all. I mean, even an Aura Legionnaire makes more damage than an M50. So yeah, I would totally be in for an M50 interceptor variant. Gaming Plus Plus, I think that you're right. So there we have it, guys. 4.0. I think that we have more fluff than actual content that's coming in 4.0. I think that this is unfortunate. Before I personally make up my mind on whether this should be called 4.0 or 3.10, I think that we still need to have extra details about what this NPC scheduler is going to be. Is it going to be delayed? Because it could very well be delayed as well. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time, right? Is it going to be just a random epic card? Is it just going to be preliminary work for what is going to come later for the whole contest system from Tony Zurvek? We don't know, and I think that CIG here needs to communicate also a little bit more on the NPC scheduler too. And now 4.1 we have those extra refinery decks and cargo decks, which I think is which they did say that is going to bring extra immersion for traders and miners at the same time. So extra rooms here in stations, making those stations a little bit more relevant and believable. I'm all for that here. But here at the same time, weapon handling polish. This is okay. Should be in 4.1. Used to be in 4.0. Now is in 4.1. Do we have anything here that is some of those depth animations improvements, docking? All of that used to be in 3.9 and 4.0. We're what we are seeing are just the delays of previous cards over and over and over again. So yeah, so is this actually roadmap padding or not? I'll let you guys decide, but in my opinion, I think that there is indeed a lot of love. This makes me think of what we were seeing in the past, like glow stick in 3.7, woo, glow sticks, who the hell is caring, right, about glow sticks? So yeah. To me, this looks very similar to those glow sticks that we were seeing in 3 points, like surprise card that just came at the last minute that nobody asked for. Especially, I would say those souvenir shops. Anyway, guys, I want to see what you guys have to say. That's why there was this poll here that was put in the community tab. Let's refresh that poll right here, and so we're gonna see here we have 316. Yeah, Austin 316 votes here. Should Star Citizen Alpha 4.0 and 4.1 be renamed 3.10 and 3.11? Apparently, out of 316 votes, which I know does not represent the entire Star Citizen backers, but it is a good sample of this community that follows this channel. So thank you to everybody who did cast a vote here. 60% sharp of you guys said yes, it should be renamed 3.10 and 3.11, and 40% of you guys said no, we should keep it 4.0. So a pretty, I would say, almost balanced vote here. Very interesting. I cannot wait to read those comments. Dave Martin says the M50 should have two versions, M50R for raise and M50I for intercept. That's it, Dave. I will. That is what I'm going to be preaching about in the future. Man Solo, great name, by the way. The M50 as an interceptor fighter would fit nicely in my Karak. That's true. You are right. Actually, it does. I did land an M50 in a Karak, and it fits very well. Dave Martin again says he can't imagine it would be hard to do one with weapons and one without. That's right. That's right. Exactly. So, what do you guys have to say here about 4.0 and 4.1 being renamed 3.10? Eric Zhang says he's got 5 votes here. For sure, major version changes should be reserved for major changes. For current state, that should be either the finish of Stenson system or the beginning of Pyro system. I agree with you, but at the same time, I would like to see what the Npc scheduler entails, because if this is the beginning of the dynamic economy, I think that it would make sense to have a new number for the alphas. Felix Tang, whom sometimes I see in the chat in-game as well, says, it's just a number, man. I think it should keep 4.0 and 4.1 to avoid confusion. And I'm also fine with that. Mr. Easter Rabbit says, patch 4.2 should be reserved for Squadron 42 release. That is hilarious. Good one, bro. This one was fun. Yeah, at the same time, because we're supposed to have also this year, right? We're supposed to have the beta release of Squadron 42. I don't think that Squadron 42 is going to be released this year, guys. I really have that, especially with the ongoing pandemic right now. But hey, we never know. Steve B says, yes, but only if there has been a significant feature list push into the next quarter, for there are no significant upgrades and feature addition for each quarter. Let's wait until we know more about the NPC scheduler. That's just what I'm going to say here. I know I'm repeating myself, said that before, but this could be interesting. There you go, Max Power here. Max Power, a member of this community who hit the join button here. That's why he's got the Eradicators logo here. Thank you so much, Max. No, says he doesn't want that to be renamed 3.10 and 3.11, although I do believe the major number should represent a major milestone with timed releases that can't work. The milestone patches should always be delayed if they try to set a date anyway. All right. Call Prison a milestone and then just release 3.9 with 0.0 as it looks. It may happen anyway. Okay, why not? Why not? But at the same time, are prisons important? This is what Togard says. Prisons are not important enough. Pyrams, wormholes, and powers should be the 4.0 milestone. I tend to agree with that point of view, Togard. Yes. 4.0 equals 3.9999 says Gaming Plus. Yeah, that's true. Scott Thompson says, what are the major milestones to justify 4.0? I believe that we will learn about some cards at the last minute. We've seen CIG do that too, so that would be not surprising. Again, I think that the NPC Scheduler could be the reason, but it's also possible that we're going to see cars added at the last minute. They're just not on the roadmap right now because they may not know if they're gonna make it on time or not, and they don't want to create further disappointment because right now a lot of you guys are rightfully disappointed. So that would make sense. Warning, do not cover says, I think the print system is a major update, so it justifies 4 and 4.1. That's interesting that quite a few people out there do think that the prison system is a major update. Maybe I'm out of touch and maybe I don't understand the importance of prisons right now. So that could be it too. I guess that we will see, right? Geekyp, who is in the chat right now, says, call it whatever, just as long as I don't lose cargo full of ATEM due to the game crashing. Well, when we have cargo storage in 4.1, you will, not 4.2, in 4.1, you will be able to save it in a station. Yeah, so I see that Geekyp is actually a drug dealer in the verse. I didn't know that. Well, apparently they're also trying to improve 30k error. I don't know. This is what I've been reading in the Star Citizen League's Discord channel, that they are trying to. Some people have reported that after 30k errors, they were back into their ships. So I don't know if this is an actual thing or not. Why are we talking about the numbers? The point is that they haven't delivered what they were supposed to, judging from their goals, says Andres Rog. That is also true, but at the same time, so the point of numbers here is that when we have a new digit, like, Alpha 3.0, Alpha 4.0, that's because of a major milestone. The problem is that we are not sure. There could be a major milestone with the NPC Scheduler in 4.0, but we're not even sure about what it is, so maybe not, right? And that's why some people are concerned. Ryan Dalziel says, just don't care, make the game, please. Amen to that. Says, wash my balls. He's talking about his bowling balls, of course. Prisons are being added for one reason only. They can do it with the tech that they have at the moment. That's it. You can call it a filler because the rest, it takes a long time coming. Mark Lewis says that, yeah, that's true. It's true that prison is something that they could do right now, so they're giving it to us right now. That also makes sense. Mark Lewis here in the chat says that he's also crying for Salvage. Man, Salvage is not even on the roadmap, man. I mean, how long has it been since it was on the roadmap and then delayed, and not in the roadmap anymore, right? And what about the Banu Merchantman, says Jacob Bernard? I think that the Banu Merchantman is going to be the next Karak, right? With the next Gibboning, I suppose. Wallan, a long-time supporter, a long-time follower of this channel here, says, I don't really care about the number that is on the card. Just give me what is in that card. The Deal, another member here who hit that join button. Thank you so much, The Deal. It should be 3.10 and 3.11. 11, unless we get a major pillar finished like the iCache and server meshing together. Will these justify being 4.1 and 4.1? Because all the game loops that we have had are still incomplete, in my opinion. Absolutely, here the deal. Hold on, because I am speaking so much that I'm making my screen dirty at the same time, so I have to clean my screen too as I am speaking. What about shipdocking? Shipdocking is coming in 4.1 inboxing. Thinking about how the world situation has slowed CIG down way more than they are admitting. Man Solo, that's also a possibility too. Not to mention that they have private investors. They may be looking for new investors, so they really don't want to be saying, if that's the case, that they're having troubles organizing themselves. Absolutely. Savage will have to be after refueling, says Mark Jensen. Perhaps. Hagshack5 says, lol. Okay, cool. 2.2 probably would be better. We had 2.x a long time ago. Ufi says, Star Citizen is a complete joke now. Melted my fleet earlier and crashed and cashed almost completely out. I got my Raven package if the game actually is completed. Wow, Ufi cashed out. He doesn't have any faith in the power anymore. Max Power says that he hopes that he enjoys it when he returns. Yeah, he cashed out in the gray market. My goodness. I have to admit, and I regret it. I did that in 2015. I did cash out most of my assets, including abandoned management with lifetime insurance, and I really regret that in 2015. And I hope that Ufi is not going to regret cashing out his assets the way I do regret it. That's just what I have to say here. The Apple G1 says they can call it whatever they want. I only care about the content, how they address game-breaking bugs, and put their priorities straight. The Crusader delays stinks, and I hope the developers just didn't prioritize food and drink mechanics, which is going to be fun for the short moment, and delay Crusader because of that. We'll see what this entails. Rap Space, I did not see your comment, Rap Space. Let me refresh this a little bit more. We're 319 votes, still the same percentage, but I did not see, your Rap Space, your comment is not showing up. So unfortunately, I will not be able to read it. But that's it, guys. This is what you guys have to say about 4.0 and 4.1, either being renamed 3.10, 3.11, or still 4.0, 4.1. Interesting split here. Everybody is being respectful. Everybody is having great arguments. And that is why you guys are awesome. Thank you so much to everybody who just joined me in the chat, in the live chat right here. Jesse Camacho says, I've been hearing this was going to be delayed even if the current events didn't happen. Okay, that maybe I haven't heard about this, but maybe, right? Rapspace says, from the roadmap, ROM support for server meshing development has been highlighted as high priority across all involved teams. As a result, server meshing was prioritized and scheduled for Q2. I don't think that server meshing is going to be scheduled for Q2. I think that server meshing further work to help for server meshing is scheduled for Q2, but I don't think that the actual feature is going to be scheduled for Q2. I could be wrong, of course. And here Andres says, Rap Space, what happened? I was hanging. Andres says 90% of everything of this roadmap will be delayed. Yeah, we've seen that in the past, and could be very well happening again. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. You guys have been awesome as always. Stay safe. Big thanks to all of my Patreon supporters. Big thank you to also people who hit that join button. It really helps me a lot. Guys, this is the last time you're going to see me with the lousy background, because I am going to announce right now that today I will be ordering the new green screen. That's it. We're going to have that green screen. So finally, you'll be able to see me doing those live streams live from the G-Log bar, maybe, or Wallis bar when we have 3.1. So we're going to have a lot of fun doing those live streams with that green screen. It's going to look more professional, and I cannot thank anybody. I cannot thank enough people who have been supporting me on Patreon and on the join button as well. I'll see you guys, later. We'll be putting that on YouTube, so that's going to be today's YouTube video. I'll see you guys very soon for more Star Citizen content, either here or on Twitch. This is the Eradicator. I'm signing out.